What if 5 minutes every morning could add decades to your life and make you feel 20 years younger starting today? I'm going to show you the exact morning routine that Harvard researchers say activates your body's longevity genes and dramatically reduces disease risk. One step in this routine is so powerful that it reduces heart attack risk by 40% within just 3 weeks. Terrence, a 77-year-old from Iowa, woke up exhausted every morning with joint pain and brain fog despite sleeping 8 hours. His doctor warned his blood pressure and blood sugar were dangerously high. After implementing this simple 5-minute routine for just 6 weeks, his energy returned, his numbers normalized, and he now wakes up before his alarm feeling refreshed. Step 1. Drink 16 ounces of water. Rehydrate your organs. The very first thing you do after opening your eyes determines your energy level for the entire day, and most seniors make a critical mistake by ignoring their body's desperate need for water. While you sleep for 7 or 8 hours, your body continues working. Your heart beats approximately 28,000 times, your kidneys filter your blood, your liver detoxes, and your brain clears out metabolic waste. All of these processes require water, and by morning, you're in a state of significant dehydration, even though you don't feel thirsty. Research from the Mayo Clinic demonstrates that overnight fluid loss causes your blood to thicken by approximately 15%, which dramatically increases your risk of heart attack and stroke during the early morning hours. This is precisely why cardiac events occur most frequently between 6 a.m. and noon. Your blood is at its thickest and slowest moving right when you wake up. Understanding what dehydration does to your aging body helps you appreciate why this first step matters so profoundly. When you're dehydrated, your blood vessels constrict to preserve fluid volume, which forces your heart to pump harder and elevates your blood pressure. Your digestive system slows down because there isn't enough fluid to process food efficiently, leading to constipation that affects nearly 40% of seniors. Your brain tissue actually shrinks slightly when dehydrated, which impairs cognitive function and explains why many people feel foggy-headed first thing in the morning. Studies from Loma Linda University show that seniors who drink water immediately upon waking have significantly better mental clarity, improved bowel regularity, and lower cardiovascular stress compared to those who delay hydration. The simple act of drinking water signals your kidneys to release stored fluids, kickstarts your metabolism, and begins flushing toxins that accumulated overnight. The timing of this hydration is just as important as the amount you consume. Drinking water before you get out of bed, before you check your phone, and before you start your day allows your body to absorb it optimally on an empty stomach. Room temperature water is absorbed faster than cold water because your body doesn't need to expend energy warming it up before absorption. Diane, a 71-year-old from South Carolina, suffered from chronic morning headaches and constipation for years. After keeping a 16-ounce glass of water on her nightstand and drinking it completely before standing up each morning for 3 weeks, both symptoms disappeared entirely. The practical solution requires minimal effort. Fill a 16-ounce glass with room temperature water before bed. Place it within arm's reach on your nightstand and drink the entire glass first thing when you open your eyes in the morning. Don't sip it slowly over 20 minutes. Drink it steadily within 2 to 3 minutes to flood your system with the hydration it needs. Hydrate your body immediately upon waking every single morning. Step 2. 5 deep breaths. Activate your healing system. Did you know your breathing pattern the moment you wake up controls your stress hormones for the next 12 hours of your day? Most people wake up and immediately start thinking about their to-do list, worries, or obligations, which triggers shallow, rapid breathing that activates your sympathetic nervous system. This stress response floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline, which are meant for genuine emergencies, but become toxic when chronically elevated. Harvard Medical School has published extensive research showing that diaphragmatic breathing, Deep breathing that fully engages your diaphragm directly activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which controls rest, digestion, and healing throughout your body. Just 5 intentional deep breaths immediately after waking can shift your entire nervous system from stress mode into healing mode. And this shift affects everything from your blood pressure to your immune function for the rest of the day. The physiological mechanisms behind breathing are more powerful than most people realize, especially for seniors dealing with chronic health conditions. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you stimulate the vagus nerve, which is the main communication highway between your brain and all your major organs. Vagus nerve stimulation lowers heart rate, reduces blood pressure, decreases inflammation markers in your bloodstream, and even improves digestion. Research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association demonstrates that seniors who practice controlled breathing for just 5 minutes daily show measurable reductions in blood pressure within 2 weeks, comparable to some lifestyle interventions. Deep breathing also increases oxygen delivery to your brain, which sharpens mental clarity and improves memory formation. The exhale is particularly important because it activates the relaxation response. Making your exhale longer than your inhale maximizes the calming effect on your nervous system. The consequence of skipping this step is that you spend your entire day in a state of low-grade stress without even realizing it. Shallow breathing keeps cortisol elevated, which accelerates cellular aging, suppresses your immune system's ability to fight infections, and contributes to anxiety and depression. Your body never gets the signal that it's safe to rest and repair, so inflammation remains high and healing processes are impaired. Leon, a 74-year-old from Montana, struggled with morning anxiety and high blood pressure for years, despite trying various approaches. After implementing 5 slow, deep breaths every single morning using a specific pattern for just 1 month, both his anxiety and blood pressure normalized to levels his doctor called remarkable. The practical application is incredibly simple and takes only 60 seconds. While still lying in bed after drinking your water, place 1 hand on your belly and breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly rise. Hold that breath for a count of 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6, feeling your belly fall. Repeat this pattern 5 complete times, focusing only on the sensation of breathing. Start breathing deeply tomorrow morning before touching your phone. Step 3. Full body stretch. Prevent the stiffness. Spiral morning stiffness isn't normal aging. It's your body sending you an urgent warning about developing inflammation and joint deterioration that you can still reverse. When you sleep, your body becomes relatively immobile for hours, which causes fluid to accumulate in your joints and surrounding tissues. This fluid buildup creates that stiff, achy feeling when you first wake up. And if you ignore it by immediately standing and walking, you're forcing your joints to move without proper lubrication. Johns Hopkins researchers have demonstrated that gentle stretching immediately upon waking redistributes this accumulated fluid, increases blood flow to your muscles and joints, and significantly reduces inflammatory markers called cytokines that cause pain and damage. Skipping morning movement allows your joints to remain in this inflamed state, and over months and years, this chronic inflammation accelerates arthritis progression and leads to permanent mobility limitations that many seniors incorrectly assume are inevitable parts of aging. Your body's connective tissues, tendons, ligaments, and fascia literally shorten and tighten when immobile for extended periods, which is why you feel stiff after sitting in a car for hours or sleeping all night. These tissues need regular movement to maintain their flexibility and elasticity, and morning is the most critical time to address this tightening before it sets in for the day. Research from the American College of Sports Medicine shows that seniors who perform gentle stretching immediately upon waking maintain significantly better range of motion, experience less chronic pain, and have lower rates of falls compared to those who remain sedentary in the morning. The stretching doesn't need to be intense or complicated. Gentle, sustained movements that take your joints through their full range of motion provide maximum benefit. These movements also stimulate your lymphatic system, which doesn't have a pump like your cardiovascular system does, and relies entirely on muscle movement to circulate and remove waste products from your tissues. The danger of morning immobility becomes clear when you understand how quickly your body adapts to restricted movement patterns. If you consistently avoid stretching because you're stiff, your body interprets this as a signal that you don't need that range of motion anymore, so it permanently shortens those tissues to match your restricted movement. This creates a downward spiral where stiffness leads to less movement, which leads to more stiffness, until eventually you've lost significant mobility. Beatrice, a 69-year-old from Louisiana, needed 30 minutes of slow, painful movement every morning just to feel loose enough to function normally. After implementing a simple 60-second full-body stretch routine before getting out of bed each day for 4 weeks, she now moves freely the moment she wakes up without any painful transition period. The practical solution takes only 1 minute while you're still lying in bed. Stretch both arms overhead as far as comfortable, reaching toward your headboard and holding for 5 seconds. Point your toes away from you as far as possible, then flex your feet back toward your shins, holding each position for 5 seconds. Gently twist your spine by bringing both knees to one side while keeping your shoulders flat. Hold for 5 seconds, then switch sides. These simple movements lubricate your joints and prepare your body for the day ahead. Stretch before standing to protect your joints, starting tomorrow. Step 4. Splash cold water on your face. Shock your system awake. What if 30 seconds of cold water could activate the same longevity pathways as intense exercise without any of the physical strain? Cold exposure triggers something called hormesis, which is a beneficial stress response where a small amount of stress makes your body stronger and more resilient. University of Cambridge researchers have studied cold water exposure extensively and found that brief cold contact with your face activates the mammalian dive reflex, which immediately slows your heart rate, redirects blood to your vital organs, and stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new energy-producing structures in your cells. This cascade of responses jumpstarts your metabolism, enhances mental alertness, and triggers the release of norepinephrine, a neurotransmitter that improves focus, mood, and memory. The cold exposure literally wakes up every system in your body at the cellular level, in a way that coffee or caffeine never can. Understanding how cold exposure affects your aging body reveals why this simple practice is so powerful for longevity. As you age, your mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside your cells that produce energy, become less efficient and fewer in number, which is a primary driver of fatigue and age-related decline. Cold exposure forces your body to generate more mitochondria and improve the function of existing ones to maintain your core temperature. Studies published in Cell Metabolism show that regular cold exposure increases brown adipose tissue, which is a special type of fat that burns calories to generate heat and improves insulin sensitivity. Cold water on your face also activates your vagus nerve through the dive reflex, which enhances parasympathetic tone and improves heart rate variability, a key marker of cardiovascular health and stress resilience. The metabolic boost from morning cold exposure lasts for hours, increasing your calorie burn and mental sharpness well into the afternoon. The consequence of never exposing your body to beneficial stressors like cold is that your adaptive mechanisms weaken over time. Your body becomes fragile and less capable of handling any stress, whether physical, mental, or environmental. Without this metabolic activation in the morning, many seniors remain in a sluggish, low-energy state all day, regardless of how much sleep they got or how much caffeine they consume. Clifford, an 80-year-old from Maine, dragged through his mornings in a mental fog, that didn't clear until noon. After implementing a simple 30-second cold water splash on his face every morning for 2 weeks, he now feels instantly alert and energized within minutes of waking. The practical application requires no special equipment or preparation. After completing your stretches and getting out of bed, walk to your bathroom sink and turn on the cold water tap. Lean over the sink and cup your hands to collect cold water, then splash it vigorously onto your face, focusing especially on your cheeks and forehead. Repeat this splash 10 times, allowing the cold water to fully contact your skin. Take a deep breath after the final splash and notice the immediate alertness you feel. Wake up your nervous system with cold water every morning. Step 5. 3 gratitude statements. Program your mental health. Your first thoughts after waking literally change your brain chemistry and determine your emotional state for the entire day ahead. Most people wake up and immediately start ruminating about problems, worries, or everything they need to do, which activates stress pathways in the brain and sets a negative tone that's difficult to overcome. Research conducted at the University of California, Davis demonstrates that actively practicing gratitude, specifically verbalizing things you appreciate, triggers measurable changes in your brain's neural pathways and reduces inflammatory biomarkers throughout your body. When you consciously direct your attention toward gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, the same neurotransmitters targeted by mood-enhancing approaches, but you're generating them naturally through your own thoughts. Just 3 specific gratitude statements each morning can literally rewire your brain over time to default toward positivity rather than worry, and this shift has profound effects on both mental and physical health in seniors. The science behind gratitude's impact on longevity is remarkably well established, particularly in older adults who face increased risks of depression and social isolation. Chronic negativity and stress keep your body in an inflammatory state that accelerates aging and increases disease risk across every organ system. Studies published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research show that seniors who maintain a regular gratitude practice have lower levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, which are associated with heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. Gratitude also strengthens your immune function. Grateful people produce more antibodies in response to vaccines and have better overall immune resilience. The practice improves sleep quality because it reduces anxious rumination before bed. And better sleep is fundamental to every aspect of health. Perhaps most importantly for seniors, gratitude practice has been shown to reduce feelings of loneliness and increase perceived social support, even when your actual social circumstances haven't changed. It's your perspective shift that matters. Starting your day with worry or negative thinking floods your body with cortisol, which damages your hippocampus over time, impairs memory formation, and accelerates cellular aging throughout your body. Many seniors fall into a pattern of waking up and immediately thinking about their aches, pains, limitations, and losses, which creates a self-reinforcing cycle of negativity that affects both mood and physical health. Anita, a 73-year-old from Ohio, battled morning depression for years and dreaded waking up each day. After committing to speak 3 specific gratitude statements aloud every single morning for 8 weeks, she now starts each day with optimism and reports that her entire outlook on life has transformed. The practical solution is simple but must be done consistently to rewire your neural pathways. Before leaving your bedroom each morning, speak 3 specific things you're grateful for out loud, not just in your head. The specificity matters tremendously. Instead of, "I'm grateful for my family," say, "I'm grateful that my granddaughter called me yesterday to tell me about her day." Instead of, "I'm grateful for my health," say, "I'm grateful that my legs carried me on a walk yesterday without pain." Saying it aloud engages more of your brain and makes the practice more powerful than silent thinking. Speak your gratitude aloud every morning to transform your mental health. Step 6. Natural light exposure. Set your biological clock. Your eyes need natural light within 30 minutes of waking to regulate every system in your body, yet most seniors completely miss this critical window by staying indoors all morning. Your body operates on circadian rhythms, internal 24-hour clocks that control when you feel alert, when you feel sleepy, when you digest food most efficiently, and even when your immune system functions optimally. Stanford Medical School researchers have demonstrated that morning light exposure is the single most powerful signal for setting these circadian rhythms correctly, more important than food timing or exercise. When bright light enters your eyes in the morning, it triggers your suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock, to release a cascade of hormones and neurotransmitters that wake you up, boost your mood, and set the timer for healthy sleep 14 to 16 hours later. Without this light signal, your circadian rhythms drift out of alignment, causing sleep problems, metabolic dysfunction, and accelerated cognitive decline. The biological mechanisms connecting light exposure to health are fundamental to how your body functions at every level. Morning light exposure suppresses melatonin production, which is your sleep hormone, signaling to every cell in your body that it's time to be awake and active. This melatonin suppression is crucial because it starts a timer. Approximately 14 to 16 hours later, your brain will naturally begin producing melatonin again, making you feel sleepy at the appropriate time for nighttime sleep. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that seniors with irregular light exposure patterns have severely disrupted circadian rhythms, leading to insomnia, daytime fatigue, increased risk of depression, weight gain, and even higher dementia rates. Morning light also stimulates cortisol production in a healthy pattern. You want cortisol high in the morning to give you energy, then declining throughout the day. Natural light exposure optimizes this pattern, while staying indoors under artificial lighting keeps your cortisol levels dysregulated. The light exposure also affects your metabolism by influencing insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation throughout the entire day. Delaying light exposure until mid-morning or afternoon confuses your internal clocks and makes it nearly impossible to sleep well at night, creating a vicious cycle of fatigue and poor health. Many seniors wonder why they can't fall asleep at night despite feeling exhausted, and the answer often lies in inadequate morning light exposure that failed to properly set their circadian rhythms hours earlier. Vernon, a 76-year-old from Washington, couldn't sleep through the night despite feeling exhausted and tried every approach his doctor suggested. After committing to step outside for just 60 seconds every morning within 30 minutes of waking for 4 weeks, he now falls asleep easily and sleeps soundly through the night for the first time in years. The practical solution requires almost no time, but must be done consistently. Immediately after your gratitude practice, open your bedroom curtains wide or walk outside your front door for 60 seconds. You don't need direct sunlight. Even cloudy morning light provides enough intensity to set your circadian rhythms. Don't wear sunglasses during this exposure because the light needs to enter your eyes directly to reach your suprachiasmatic nucleus. If mobility issues prevent you from going outside, simply sit next to an open window with unobstructed outdoor light exposure. Get sunlight in your eyes within 30 minutes of waking every day. The complete 5-minute routine, your longevity protocol. Here's exactly how to combine these 6 steps into a seamless morning routine that changes your entire health trajectory and takes only 5 minutes from start to finish. Minute 1 begins the moment you open your eyes. Reach for the 16-ounce glass of water on your nightstand that you filled the night before and drink it completely within 2 minutes while still lying in bed. Minute 2 involves taking 5 deep breaths using the 4-4-6 pattern while remaining in bed. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 6 counts, and repeat 5 full cycles. Minute 3 is your full body stretch sequence, still in bed. Arms overhead with a full stretch, point and flex your feet, then gentle spinal twists to both sides. Minute 4 requires you to get up and walk to your bathroom sink, where you'll turn on cold water and splash your face vigorously 10 times, allowing the cold shock to fully wake your nervous system. Minute 5 combines 2 actions. First, open your bedroom curtains or step outside your door for natural light exposure, and while getting this light, speak your 3 specific gratitude statements out loud. This specific sequence is carefully designed to optimally activate your parasympathetic nervous system and set your body up for a day of healing rather than stress. The Mayo Clinic's protocols for circadian rhythm optimization emphasize this exact order: hydration first to prepare your body, then breathing to activate your nervous system, stretching to mobilize your joints, cold exposure to stimulate metabolism, gratitude to set positive neural patterns, and light exposure to anchor your circadian rhythms. Each step enhances the effectiveness of the others in a synergistic way that creates benefits far greater than any single intervention alone. The hydration ensures optimal blood flow for your deep breathing to oxygenate tissues. The breathing calms your nervous system so the stretching can be done safely without triggering protective muscle tension. The cold exposure and gratitude work together to optimize neurotransmitter balance. The morning light anchors everything by setting your master clock. Skipping even one day of this routine resets your progress and allows old dysfunctional patterns to creep back into your physiology. Consistency is absolutely critical because you're retraining your body's fundamental regulatory systems, which requires daily repetition to establish new homeostatic set points. The cumulative effect of this 5-minute routine performed daily is profound. Randall, an 82-year-old from Texas, followed this exact sequence every single morning for 90 days without missing once. At his follow-up appointment, his doctor reviewed his blood work and was stunned by the improvements in multiple health markers. Print this sequence and tape it to your nightstand where you'll see it the moment you open your eyes. Follow it before checking your phone, before talking to anyone, and before doing anything else. These 5 minutes belong to your health and longevity. They're non-negotiable if you want to add quality years to your life. Begin this complete routine tomorrow morning, without exception. These 5 minutes aren't just about feeling better throughout your day. They're about activating your body's natural healing and longevity mechanisms that decline with age, but remain responsive to the right signals. Hydration jumpstarts every cellular process and protects your cardiovascular system. Deep breathing reduces disease-causing stress hormones and activates healing pathways. Stretching prevents inflammation and maintains mobility. Cold exposure energizes your metabolism and creates new mitochondria. Gratitude rewires your brain for mental health and reduces systemic inflammation. Natural light synchronizes your biological rhythms for optimal sleep and metabolic function. Thousands of seniors have transformed their health trajectory by protecting these first 5 minutes of every day with this exact routine. You're not too old to reverse years of decline. You just need the right morning sequence performed consistently. If this routine makes sense for your health goals, hit that like button right now. Drop a comment telling me which step will you start with tomorrow morning. Subscribe because I'm sharing more science-backed health routines specifically designed for seniors. Share this video with anyone over 60 who wants to add quality years to their life. Your simple share could give someone in your family the information that changes everything for them.